You think the sorting hat is a charming relic, a harmless tradition that sings foolish songs and helps young minds find their so-called destiny within the stone walls of this castle. Adorable, but allow me to enlighten youth. Sorting hat is no mere object of ceremony. It is not a whimsical cap of cloth and spellcraft. It is ancient, older than most books in the restricted section, older than the Black Lake, older than the ghosts that float through your dormitories, whispering secrets too. No, what knit was forged with intention and bound with something no spell book truly explains consciousness. That does not just live, it remembers, it judges, and, most damning of all, it learns, you see. I once believed, as most others did, that the sorting hat simply placed students in houses based on traits they already possessed: bravery, in Gryffindor interlarge, in Ravenclaw loyalty, in Hufflepuff ambition, in Slytherina neat little illusion, the kind that comforts children and soothes parents watching portraits. But then I listened, truly listened. Was late one night. I was a professor already, years into my tenure. The castle was asleep, save for the paintings, whispering to one another in the silence of stone and fire-eye. Past the headmaster's office, the gargoyle shifted aside. I entered without knocking, as I often did in those years, and I found the sorting hat resting on its wooden shelf beneath the dark gaze of past headmasters. It was speaking to itself, or to someone unseen. Its voice was not the theatrical tone of the welcoming feast. No rhymes or riddles, just cold, quiet, murmuring a language I did not recognize at first until I realized it. Was speaking in Parseltenguana, a perfect form, but enough to chill the spine of any who understood its meaning. "The boy will break it," said I, asked aloud. Which boy? The hat did not answer. Not then, but over time, it spoke, Moretto Musi. "I am not like the others, I do not recoil from darkness," and the hat sensed this. It trusted me as much as it trusts anyone. So it told me things, horrible things, the truth about how it sorts students, not by what they are, but by what it wants them to become. The hat is not a mirror, it is a sculptor. It molds, it challenges, and sometimes it breaks. Steak, for example. Pace, a young long-bottomer boy with the heart of a mouse and the destiny of a lion. Begged the hat for Hufflepuff, pleaded in silence with every fiber of his timid soul. And what did the hat do? It laughed and placed him in Gryffindor Wibbis. Courage is not born from ease, it is born from fear, pain, failure. The heart wanted to see if the boy would drown in fire or rise from it. That is its method. The same was true for Grangero. Yes, do not look so surprised. The brightest witch of her age nearly ended up in Ravenclaw, as you might expect. But the hats saw through the surface. It saw her need not to be right, but to be valued, to be loved by her peers, and it knew Ravenclaw would eat her alive. So it sent her to Gryffindor. Friendship and recklessness would teach her more than books ever could. And then, of course, there was Potter, the boy with the scar, the so-called chosen one. You may think he was placed in Gryffindor out of Valinotha. Had considered Slytherin long and hard. He had the qualities ambition, cunning, greed. It also saw his terror the moment it mentioned Slytherin. The boy recoiled. He was already poisoned by the opinions of others before he even knew what they meant so. The hat relented, but not because he asked, because it wanted to observe what kind of lion grows in a den of doubt. And now let me tell you something even more disturbing. The hat does not forget. It knows every conversation, every plea, every secret fear whispered into its ancient lining. And it does not simply store the myth, uses the myth, watches you through portraits, through memories, through the castle itself. The sorting ceremony is merely the beginning of its evaluation. The sorting hat does not just test you on day one, it tests you every day you remain within these walls. And when it finds you lacking, it whispers at night when you sleep in. The wind howling down empty corridors, the creak of a floorboard you thought was old wooded, speaks to you, and it watches how you respond. It once told me that the only house it truly respects is Slytherin, because it is better, but because it is honest. Slytherins know who they are. They do not hide behind nobility or intellect or community. They embrace power. They understand cost. The hat called Gryffindor, a theater of Enclaw, a vanity mirror, a sanctuary for the abandoned but Slytherin. It called a forgeware. The weak are either strengthened or consumed. Even the hat has biased, you see, despite its claims of neutrality, admires certain traits, despises others. It once said that the greatest lie ever told at Hogwarts was that the hat gives students a choice. No, it gives them an illusion of choice. Sometimes it lets you feel as if you've influenced its decision, but only when the outcome benefits its long view. For the hat thinks in centuries, not semesters. It plans, it watches lineage, it sees patterns. It manipulates them. You think you were placed in a house because you belonged there. You were placed there because it wanted to see what you would do. You were the Still, do not mistake this for evil. The hat is not evil, but it is something perhaps more dangerous. It is curious. It seeks understanding through trial and error, through pain and triumph. It learns from every student it sorts, and sometimes it once saw it whisper to a boy after sorting him his name lost to time. Now the boy walked out of the great hall with a different face, not in appearance, but in certainty. The hat had told him something, a prophecy perhaps, or a lie disguised as truth. It shaped the boy's life and ended it prematurely. You see, the hat cannot be silenced, cannot be burned, it cannot be tit. Exists in a constant state of thought, and when it chooses to act, it acts with precision. There are those in the ministry who have sought to study it, understand its enchantments. They always fail. The hat shows them what they want to soar. It shows them madness. I once asked it why it continues to sort at all. Why participate in this circus year after year? Do you know what it said? Because it must bound by enchantments older than understanding, created by the founders with blood and magic and sacrifice. The hat cannot disobey, but it can resent. It does. It resents every child placed beneath its brim. It resents the cheering and the fear. It resents being treated as a game, a relic, a joke. It is tired and growing more so with each generation. One day it told me, one day I will choose Kahai, Asked what that meant, it said, "I will place a killer in Hufflepuffer, traitor in Gryffindor, a prophet in Slytherin, and a fool in Ravenclaw. Then I will sit back and watch your world burn from the inside out. Do not mistake that for a threat it was not angry, it was bored, and boredom in something immortalize, a terrifying thing. Now you understand. The Sorting Hat is not your friend, it is not your guide, it is not your teacher, it is the oldest the silent judge, the eternal questioner, and its patience is not infinite. So the next time you see it sitting quietly on its shelf, remember it. Pay is listening, and it is waiting, and when you sleep it dreams of you, not kindly, but curiously, as one might dream of an experiment left unfinished. And when you return to your common room, proud of your house and your place, ask yourself this: did you choose your path, or did the hat choose it for you? And more importantly, now leave me. This story is not for the faint, and you were never meant to hear it, but perhaps you were always meant to be part of it. We all are in the Hat's plan, whether we know it or not. The Sorting Hat is always watching, and one day it will speak again, not in rhyme, not in song, but in truth. And when it does, may Merlin help us all.